Level 1. The template. You're 19, and you go to a state school that costs more than your parents make in a year. Financial aid covers tuition. It doesn't cover anything else. You share a dorm room the size of a parking space with a kid from Connecticut who has a credit card with no limit and a fake ID that gets him into every bar on College Avenue. You have neither. You work the closing shift at the campus dining hall 4 nights a week, making $9.50 an hour. You scrape dried pasta off trays. You mop floors that smell like bleach and regret. You go back to your room at midnight while everyone else is out. You hear them through the walls. You hear the pre-gaming and the laughing and the leaving. You stay and you study and you tell yourself this is the smart path. The smart path smells like industrial cleaner and pays $9.50 an hour. You're a graphic design major. You're good at it. Not hobby good. Actually good. You can match fonts by eye. You can color correct a photo in 30 seconds. You understand layers and masks and vector tracing the way most people understand breathing. Your professors say you have a future. The future costs money you don't have. Your roommate Kyle loses his fake ID at a bar on a Thursday. He's upset about it for 45 minutes. Then he asks if you can make him a new one. He's joking. You laugh. He shows you the photo of his old one on his phone. You look at it the way a mechanic looks at an engine. You see the layers. You see the font. You see the microprint around the border. You see a document that was designed by a graphic designer, and you are a graphic designer. Kyle goes to bed. You don't. You open Photoshop at 1 in the morning. You find a template online. The template is garbage. Wrong font. Wrong spacing. Wrong color on the header. You fix it. You fix all of it. By 4 a.m., you have a template that matches a real ID better than the one Kyle lost. You print it on Teflon paper with the inkjet printer you bought for your design classes. You cut it. You laminate it with a butterfly pouch. You hold it up to Kyle's real driver's license from his home state. It's not perfect, but it's close. It's close enough to fool a bouncer checking IDs at 11 p.m. in a dark bar. Kyle takes it out that Friday. It works. He buys you a beer with it. Your first payment. 1 beer. He tells 3 people. Those 3 people tell 3 more. By the following Monday, you have 11 requests sitting in your DMs. $80 each. That's $8.80. You make $9.50 an hour at the dining hall. $8.80 is 92 hours of scraping pasta off trays. You say yes to all 11. You buy more Teflon paper. You buy a better laminator. You spend $400 on supplies and make $8.80 in your first week. Net profit $4.80. From your dorm room. In your boxers. While Kyle watches Netflix 3 feet away. The dining hall shift starts to feel stupid. You keep going because the dining hall is your cover, and your cover is what keeps you invisible. Invisible is important when you're committing a felony in a building owned by the state. Level 2. The operation. By month 2, you've made 43 IDs. You charge $80 each and $110 for a duplicate. Duplicates are smart because the customer loses the first one at a bar and needs a backup. Most people buy the duplicate. You've made just over $4,000. You keep the cash in a shoebox in your closet. The shoebox sits behind your textbooks. Design textbooks in front. Federal crime behind. You get better. You buy a dye sublimation printer for $320. The quality jumps. Teflon paper was fine for dark bars. Dye sub on PVC cardstock is fine for everywhere. The colors are richer. The edges are cleaner. The cards feel right in your hand. They feel like real IDs because the material is the same material real IDs are made from. The holograms are the hard part. Every state ID has a holographic overlay. It's the one thing bouncers actually check. You find a supplier on a forum. He ships holographic overlays from a warehouse in Shenzhen. 28 cents per overlay if you buy 500. You buy 500. They arrive in a plain brown box 3 weeks later. You apply them with a heat press you bought from a craft store. The holograms shift in the light the same way real ones do. Not identical, but close enough that a 23-year-old bouncer making $14 an hour isn't going to catch it. You specialize in 3 states: Ohio, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. You chose them because their security features are the least complex, and because your customers are from the Northeast, and a Northeastern fake looks normal at a bar in a college town in the Southeast. You build a template for each state. You spend weeks perfecting the fonts, the microprint, the ghost image positioning, the barcode encoding. You download software that generates scannable barcodes. Your ID scan. That's the difference between an $80 ID and a $150 ID. Yours scan. You need photos. Customers send selfies that look like they were taken during an earthquake. You fix every one. White background extraction, color correction, proper centering, correct pixel dimensions. You do in 90 seconds what the DMV does in a photo booth. The photos look more professional than real license photos. Your roommate Kyle becomes your middleman. Kyle knows everyone. Kyle talks to everyone. Kyle collects the photos and the cash and delivers the finished IDs. You give Kyle $20 per ID. Kyle treats it like a side hustle. You treat it like a business. The difference matters. By month 4, you're producing 30 IDs a week. $80 each. $2,400 a week. Minus Kyle's cut, and supplies you clear about $1,800 a week. $7,200 a month. You quit the dining hall. You tell your parents you got a campus job in the design lab. They're proud. The design lab closes at 6 p.m. You do your real work after midnight. Level 3. The network. Your IDs develop a reputation. Not your name. Your brand. Customers call them ghosts because someone said the holograms look ghostly in the light, and the name stuck. You never correct it. A brand is better than a name. A name gets you caught. A brand gets you paid. You recruit resellers. 3 kids on 3 different campuses in 3 different states. Each reseller collects orders from their campus and sends you a batch of photos and names every Sunday night. You produce the IDs Monday through Wednesday. You ship them Thursday. Flat rate envelopes. The IDs are hidden inside hollowed-out textbooks. Calculus textbooks. Nobody opens a calculus textbook. Each reseller charges $120 per ID and keeps 40. You get 80. The same 80 you always got, but now it's multiplied across 4 campuses, including your own. You're producing 80 to 100 IDs a week. Your revenue is $8,000 a week. Your take after supplies and cuts is about $5,200 a week. $20,800 a month. You're 20 years old, and you make more than your parents combined. The operation runs on Snapchat and Signal. Orders come through disappearing messages. Payments come through Venmo and Cash App with memo lines that say pizza or textbooks or concert tickets. Never anything real. You convert the digital payments to cash through a guy named Darnell who runs a cash conversion service at 15%. Darnell doesn't ask what the money is from. Darnell's 15% is the cost of paper trail removal. You move off campus into a 1-bedroom apartment. You tell your parents the design lab promoted you to a paid position. Your mom sends you a congratulations card with $20 inside. You put the 20 in the shoebox. The shoebox now lives in the top of your closet. The shoebox has $11,000 in it. You count it every Sunday. Counting it is the only part that feels real. Your product improves again. You invest in UV ink. Real IDs have UV reactive elements that glow under blacklight. Bouncers at high-end clubs use UV flashlights. Your old IDs failed UV. Your new ones don't. You charge $150 for the UV version. Most people pay it. The margins get wider. The risk stays the same. Or you think it does. You start getting orders from people you've never met on campuses you've never visited. Your resellers have resellers. The chain is 2 steps removed from you now. Someone on a campus in Alabama orders a ghost through a guy who knows your reseller at Georgia. You never see the customer. You never learn the name. You just get a photo in a Snapchat message and $80 appears in Venmo. You make the ID. You ship the textbook. The customer is a stranger who will use your work to buy alcohol and get into clubs and maybe one day hand it to a bouncer who hands it to an agent who traces it back to you. Every ID you make is a thread. Every thread leads to your apartment. You just can't see the threads yet. You think about stopping. You think about it the way you think about going to the gym. You know you should. You know exactly why you should. You don't. The money doesn't let you stop. $20,000 a month doesn't become zero quietly. Your apartment has furniture now. Your closet has clothes that aren't from Walmart. You eat at restaurants. You bought your mom a new microwave for Christmas and told her you saved up from the design lab. She hugged you and said she was proud. You let her be proud. The hug felt like a lie, but the microwave works and she uses it every day. Level 4. The textbook. A bouncer at a club in Tallahassee confiscates an ID. Not because it looks fake. Because the kid using it is visibly 17 and 5'2", and the ID says he's 22 and 5'11". The bouncer hands it to an ABC agent doing a compliance check that night. The ABC agent looks at the ID under a loop. He notices the microprint on the border. It's slightly too thick. Every ghost ID has the same flaw. He's seen 11 ghosts in the last 3 months. All from the same template. All with the same microprint error. He starts a file. The ABC agent contacts the Secret Service. Most people don't know the Secret Service handles document fraud. Most people think they only protect the president. They don't. They investigate fake currency and fake documents, and they are very good at it. A Secret Service agent in the Jacksonville field office opens a case. She requests all confiscated ghost IDs from bars and clubs in the Southeast. She gets 47 of them in 3 weeks. 47 IDs from one source. The same 3 states. The same microprint flaw. The same hologram alignment. One maker. She traces the holograms. The overlays have a specific refraction pattern. She matches it to a supplier in Shenzhen who ships to 14 addresses in the United States. She subpoenas the shipping records. One of the 14 addresses is a 1-bedroom apartment near a state university. Your apartment. She traces the payments. Venmo and Cash App require identity verification. Darnell's cash conversion service leaves records that Darnell didn't know existed. Darnell cooperates the same afternoon they knock on his door. Darnell gives them everything. Account names. Transaction dates. Dollar amounts. Your name appears 63 times. She traces the shipments. Flat rate envelopes sent every Thursday from the same post office. The postal inspector pulls security footage. A 20-year-old in a college hoodie mailing 5 to 8 packages every Thursday afternoon. You. Every Thursday. Same post office. Same window. The postal clerk remembers your face. They don't arrest you first. They arrest your resellers. All 3. The same morning. Different states. The reseller at the university in Georgia breaks in 40 minutes. He gives them your name, your apartment address, your Snapchat handle, and the fact that you ship IDs inside hollowed-out calculus textbooks. The agent notes the textbook detail. She's seen a lot of hiding methods. The textbook is new. They come for you on a Wednesday. You're in your apartment. The die-up printer is on your desk. The PVC cardstock is in your closet. The holographic overlays are in a drawer. The shoebox is on the top shelf. There is no ambiguity when they walk in. The evidence is the apartment. The Secret Service agent shows you the file. It's thick. 47 confiscated IDs. Payment records. Shipping footage. Reseller statements. Your microprint flaw documented across a 12-page forensic analysis. 12 pages about a line that's slightly too thick. Kyle is in the room when they knock. Kyle who collected the photos. Kyle who delivered the IDs. Kyle who took $20 per card and treated it like a side hustle. Kyle is arrested too. Kyle's parents hire a lawyer that afternoon. Your parents can't hire a lawyer. Your parents didn't know about any of this until the phone call from the police station. Your mom's voice on the phone sounds like something breaking that won't unbreak. The charges are federal. Manufacturing and distributing fraudulent identification documents. Mail fraud for the shipments. Conspiracy for the network. The conspiracy charge is what carries weight. You're looking at 3 to 7 years. Your public defender negotiates. You cooperate. You give them the supplier in Shenzhen. You give them Darnell's full operation. You give them every reseller communication saved on your phone. Kyle's lawyer negotiates separately. Kyle gets probation because Kyle's role was delivery and Kyle's parents' lawyer costs $400 an hour. You can't afford $400 an hour. You can't afford 40. The shoebox has been seized. Everything has been seized. You plead guilty. Manufacturing fraudulent documents and mail fraud. You get 22 months in a federal facility. You're 20 years old. You'll be 22 when you get out. The judge says 22 months. The number matches your age when you'll leave. 22 months. 22 years old. The math is accidental and it is cruel. Your mom visits once a month. She drives 3 hours each way. She sits across a table and asks about the food. You tell her the food is fine. Fine means the same thing it always means. It means something is wrong, but the details don't help. She brings you magazines. Design magazines. She thinks you'll go back to school when you get out. You let her think that because the alternative is a conversation neither of you can finish. You get out on a Monday. 22 months. You move back to your parents' house. You sleep in your childhood bedroom. The posters are still on the wall. The trophies from high school football are still on the shelf. You're 22 and you live with your parents and you have a federal conviction and a graphic design degree you never finished. You apply for design jobs. Nobody hires a convicted felon for a position that requires trust with documents. The irony is specific and permanent. You were too good at design. You were so good you used it to commit a crime, and now the skill and the crime are fused together and no employer can see one without seeing the other. You get a job at a print shop. $13 an hour. You print business cards and wedding invitations and real estate flyers. The equipment is the same equipment. The same printers. The same laminators. The same cardstock. You use the same skills for $13 an hour that made you $20,000 a month. The muscle memory is identical. The purpose is different. The purpose is the only thing that changed. Kyle graduated. Kyle walks at commencement in May. Kyle's conviction was expunged after probation because Kyle's lawyer filed the right motion with the right judge at the right time. Kyle works at an ad agency in New York, making $75,000 a year. Kyle posts about it on Instagram. You see the post from your childhood bedroom. Kyle collected the photos. Kyle delivered the IDs. Kyle walked. You didn't. The difference between you and Kyle isn't what you did. It's what you could afford when you got caught. Your mom still has the congratulations card she sent when you told her the design lab promoted you. It's in a drawer in the kitchen. She never threw it away. You found it last week looking for a pen. You held it and read it, and the $20 she put inside was gone because you put it in the shoe box and the shoe box was seized, and the $20 your mom sent you to celebrate a job that didn't exist is now in an evidence locker in a federal building in Jacksonville. That's the math. That's always the math. The math takes everything, including the things that were honest. Hit like if the math got you.